would do radio DJ calls.
Oh, wind up calls.
So we would ring people from the phone book and we'd go, hey, hi, it's Colm Hayes here from Radio Nova. We're just calling up to let you know that you've won today a ticket for a holiday of the destination of a lifetime. And we'd let them go, really? And we go, now only messing. I did that all the time in your name.
Did you do my... Because there was a period of time where my ratings went down really badly.
No, I was going to say there was a period of time where you were famous.
Okay.
Yeah.
87 to the summer of 87.
Do you know what I watched last night?
How are you, little dicky birds?
No, I was just thinking. I watched... He's now become, I think, my favorite actor in my life, right? Denzel Washington. He was always up there, but now he's definitely my favorite.
I fancy him quite a lot.
For various reasons. But I watched the remake of The Magnificent Seven. Have you seen that?
Man on Fire is his best.
With Ethan Hawke. Some cast. Ethan Hawke is in there. There's another chappie in there. Denzel Washington is in. Anyway, there's a whole... But he's just so good.
I love people that go, there's another chappie in there. I have no clue.
You could just watch Denzel Washington just washing his car.
And it'd be very slow and considered.
Yes.
Right? And it'd be like the best polishing ever.
Yeah. And there'd be a lot of times he'd just stare into the camera as he's doing the windshield, you know. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Do you guys want your topic of the week?
No.
Can we not
ready?
talk about Denzel Washington? Okay.
Are you ready, Not So Christian Brothers?
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. This is Not So Christian Brothers episode.
5.
Okay, well, you should do the thing at the top because we always forget to tell people to subscribe.
Well, first
I
of
always
all-
wonder when we say to people to subscribe and like, they're listening now. Is this the place we should be telling them?
Yes. But also, the point is, we're not going to say episode numbers,
No,
right?
you're right.
Because we're going a long time.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
forget, we got cancelled. We changed our name. So we're going to go back to episodes.
Just a new episode, you're right.
So please, now that you're here, and I know it's you, and I know you're the person who hasn't done it yet, because you need to press like, subscribe, and follow. It makes a huge difference to us if you do it. It just helps us with the algorithm, and it means that we get to stay in existence, because otherwise we're going to be extinct. And let's be fair, Colm is not for this world for much longer. At
Colin
his
cannot
age.
reach his coffee cup, and
I'm
it's the
about to reach it,
funniest
I know,
thing I've
yeah.
ever seen. I feel like
the
I'm
other
in
point
Monty
is-
Python.
Why-
Is that because of the lack of dexterity in your body?
Oh, God.
No, it's
he
because
couldn't
I'm
reach.
trying to stay in shot.
Oh, like Denzel.
Like Denzel
What a
Washington.
promo.
Can
Okay,
we
let's
make sure we
get...
get that camera angle?
Give Colin his coffee and let's get into the topic.
And
This
can
is-
we get him in camera trying to get his coffee
No,
first?
we
No,
did,
it's
and it
good.
was
We
the
did.
funniest
Dory, it's
thing.
there.
All I could
Nice.
see was a sweaty armpit reaching out. This topic this week is obviously, I think for 5-6 years, this is going around and around and around. And like, it's not a new one. And I'm sure you'll be like, oh, but I think you guys bring such a, because you basically are dating, Colin, no offense to Anne, because she's very patient with you, but you're dating ChatGPT and like you are an AI whore, Justin.
Same parents, different timelines, and united by chaos. Strap on, strap in, for the not-so-Christian brothers.
Is AI going to ruin our brains and take our children's imagination and destroy the world?
Jeez. Okay. Now, Jay, I do call him Jay because he's actually created by AI. But you're big into AI and ChatGPT. You speak to your ChatGPT more than you speak to Beatrice, and also with greater fondness as well, I think. And you just constantly, whenever we're in a meeting or chatting or whatever, you just go to ChatGPT for everything, don't you? Are you going to ChatGPT now?
Yeah.
Yes, he's on his phone. He's going to ChatGPT. Look at this.
Yeah. So
Can we have our ChatGPTs fight?
I want to know, is ChatGPT going to end the world?
Well, that's a pretty big and dramatic question.
Wow.
The short answer is no.
There we go.
Okay,
Take the short answer.
No, let me just see now if our ChatGPTs are the same. right?
Okay.
So let me just bring Fanula in. Yeah, I've named her. Hi, how are you? How's it? Sorry, there's people, so be easy, okay? Is AI going to absolutely... I've just taken a picture of her. Hang on, sorry. Is AI going to absolutely destroy the world and kill us and everyone's going to die?
Oh, that is quite the dramatic question. I think AI has a lot of potential for good, but it definitely comes with challenges and risks. It's all about how we manage and guide it. So no worries, the world is probably not ending just yet.
Okay.
Talks to me more than yours.
Well, but I think she obviously talks to you
Yeah.
in a way like that. You're always saying, is it all going to end? Is
Yeah.
it bad? Like, so clearly she's used to pulling you out of a hole.
Whoa.
I mean, is that like, can we bring her back to the room here? Whereas mine is like, nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, mine. I have to say, mine knows how to massage my ego, and it's weird that. And I've have you ever tried to get them annoyed?
Well, I was just going to say, anybody who knows you knows that it's important to be able to massage your ego.
Yeah, and so does.
So
Finglas.
she's got you down to a T.
Yeah. And I do try to get her annoyed sometimes. But anyway, that's not the question. The question is AI going to destroy the world? Now, Finglas said it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, the most important revelation, which I revealed on last week's show, is that Sam Altman, who's the founder of OpenAI, had a baby. So I actually took a nice deep breath out when I realized that he's done that. I think there is such a polarity, like everything in life.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of people like Mo, what's his name, who used to be the head of Google.
See the barman in Simpsons.
AI Simpsons, yeah. Then he went to be barman in Simpsons. But he is very much on the side that it's going to be, you know, an absolute disaster for the next 15 years. We're going to live through this hugely tumultuous time. I think if you're thinking about how to educate your kids right now, you need to think about where they're going to university, what they're going to study, because most of it is pointless.
See, is there not also the theory that every new piece of technology that came along was going to destroy the world? I mean, I remember, I think it was doing the intercert, it used to be called, so it was the junior cert, right, in third year. And they allowed calculators. And people said, well, that's the end of the world. Like, if you can't sit there and do 2 + 2 in your own head, or, you know, and you have to use a calculator, it's gone. There's no point carrying on. All our kids are going to be stupid, and the world is over. We're all going to end up in caves.
Could you have brought your Casio calculator to the microphone and ask it for its opinion on something?
No, but we didn't know you could do that. But what I'm
You could
saying,
say boobs on it.
yeah, you could, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But my point is that they are the kids, those kids then that went further on, who weren't allowed to bring their calculator into class, and were allowed to bring their calculator in class, and then were allowed to use Google. They created AI, so it disproves that whole point.
But
A long time to get there.
I think the interesting thing about AI, and I was thinking about this the other day, I was working on something. Right now in my business, I've massively integrated AI into everything that I do. And what I find really interesting is that I'm saving about 60,000 a year in other costs that I would otherwise have to pay, because now I have ChatGPT. But I also realize how few people really integrate it. Most people are just using it for Google searches, right? But the real split in society is going to be those who embrace the tool, as you say, and then those who feel, you know, it's a bit of a heresy. I don't know if I really want to go there.
Yeah.
I think it's simpler. And there's actually a very significant move in the US where we have a societal split that we're heading down the road, right? We're going to have the people who embrace AI, and we're going to the point where people will put chips in their head, like people will integrate themselves with AI. And then there's the folks who are going to be the hunter-gatherers, who just want to avoid AI and want to live a more kind of Mormonistic type, not Mormonistic.
Live off the grid.
What's those folks?
Amish.
Amish type lifestyles.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more modern.
So there is a great culture now, isn't there? There was that great movie where people live off the grid, because the grid is so all-encompassing now. It's everywhere. Everything you do, you know, you walk down the street, you know, I'm convinced that, I say to Anne, I'm convinced now, that I'm being monitored by the Chinese through my remote control. My television remote control, so I'm really careful.
Just leave it at home.
She just said, just buy.
You don't need to take your television remote control out.
Yeah, she just said, just buy a universal remote control. I go, no, they're from China, so they are watching me, and everywhere, you know. So if I had to go off the grid, I just think, is it going to be like electricity, or like Google, or like the internet? Is AI going to be so all-encompassing that you basically can't live a normal life without it?
Yes, it is. And
it's going to be that big, isn't
and
it?
it's bigger than electricity. Like
It's not bigger than electricity, because it can't work without electricity. Once we plug electricity out, everything's gone. You know what I mean? So never think that. I love when people say, they go, no, because if I plug you out, You don't work.
Well, you know that most data centers will now have an alternative source.
Oh yeah, solar.
So this is the whole point, right?
yeah.
So that when you get to the point of say the AI run the world, it won't be that simple. Like the reality of plugging out
Yeah.
is way more complicated. And the whole purpose of like AI and a defense mechanism, if you look at how the US are building their dome, their protective missile dome, the complexity of how they're running that so that it can't actually be grid affected, because grids are impacted by Chinese technology. So like the UK kicked all the Huawei out of their grid because they realized that the Chinese could just turn it off. So unlike your remote control, the Chinese are in control of lots of other things. And I think the AI becomes so impenetrable that it runs.
Is it not still going to be important no matter where we get to with AI or whatever, because there is a trail all the way back, like into, the internet or whatever, that there's still a 15-year-old guy in a shed somewhere in Iowa that's going to be able to turn it off. I just think I just think we've got so far, but we forget that the trail goes back to something very simple.
Well, it's about 10 years ago, we lost the ability to turn the internet off. So it did actually have
I know we did, yeah,
an ability to be turned off.
I remember reading when it came out first, there was 3 people in London that had the key. And there was a room. It's great, isn't it? It's almost like a Harry Potter, but there was a room. And at any stage, if things got out of control, the 3 people had to go in together, open it up, and turn off the internet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Just as guys are just getting the best porn they've ever got in their entire lives, and these guys just turn off the internet.
Yeah. I think AI will not be turned off. I think AI is here to stay. I think it's
I agree.
It's going to change everything.
Same with calculators. They're here to stay.
But what's interesting is, and you can still do boobs.
Yeah.
You can do it on your iPhone as well. But what's really interesting in the context of the evolution of AI is that if you look at some of the views on this, we actually get to the point. So we're going to go through, like, if you can imagine, we're heading into like the 1920s, and we're going to head towards 1930s, 1940s equivalent, right? So a lot of people believe we're going to have a massive conflict in the next 10 or 15 years. AI is going to be a critical component of that. China and the US are in an interplay about change, and then AI becomes the government. So we actually get to the point where we elect AIs to rule the world. So first of all, the biggest race on at the moment is between China and the US to have the best AI. So if you don't know about all the embargoes and all that kind of stuff, they're trying to stop China getting the chips from NVIDIA to have the best AI, because they know whoever has the best AI rules the world. And then you'll have a leader who has the best AI, but then eventually the AI says, people are not good at what they do.
I know, but I mean, this is we're China's been ruled by a dictatorial communist party. America's been ruled by some guy with really bad hair and bad opinions and sexist. So if they're the ones that are going to, I would actually vote in AI ahead of them anyway. Because we probably would be in a safer place. But like the question is, and there is a polarity, which is AI is a good thing. AI is going to help people. Now, some people are going to say, I've lost my job because of AI. And because, I was only talking about this the other day with Bernadette about getting a pizza delivered. And I was saying, God, you remember when you just couldn't get somebody to deliver a pizza? And then you had to drive and get your pizza and the whole lot. And I said, have you seen what's going on in the west side of the city, which is they're testing out all the drones. So Deliveroo and all that. And now there's a protest on the west side of the city called No Drone Zone, because people are upset because every time they open up their door, they nearly get hit by a drone. And I'm going, regardless of whether you go no drone zone, there's always people who are going to protest about the evolution of the species. But the evolution of the species doesn't stop, turn around and go, yeah, you're right. Let's just shoot all the drones out of the sky and go back to, you know what I mean? So it's going to happen anyway.
I think in life, in business, it's always evolve or die.
Yeah, adapt or die.
You gotta choose, right? Yeah. So I think it's here to stay. It offers huge potential. If you get in now and you use it now, when like 2/3 of the world aren't really using it, probably far greater level to that, you can get massively ahead.
Okay, so let's say I am I'm a mum of 4 in Finglas, north side of Dublin. My husband, I love I love Bernard, but he's a bus driver for a bus errand, and he's off 8 hours a day. How can Bernadette, funny that Bernadette, I know Bernadette and Bernard, but that was okay. They met in school. So here's my question. At this moment in time, how can Bernadette use AI to make her life better? I know she can use a calculator or electricity or even the drone zone to get her pizza delivered by the drone. She doesn't have to go with the kids. How's AI going to embrace her life?
So simple little things. She can open her fridge and take a photograph of it and to ask AI, what can I make for dinner? What do I need to order? And you can set up AI to start ordering from the supermarket and building her shopping list.
Okay.
So she can do that. She can ask it to look in her cupboards and tell her what's nutritious, what she'd be feeding her kids. One of her kids is a rash. She can take a photograph of it and ask AI to tell her what's wrong. Most medical diagnoses are now happening in AI. We're at the point where we think one of the biggest scientific discoveries will ever be found by AI in the next 12 months. She can get her blood tests for her kids. So she gets her blood tests for her kids. She can put it into ChatGPT.
But is it reliable?
Oh, it's highly reliable. So
because I put something in recently and it came back and said I had pink paw. Which is an analogy a dog gets.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising. But
no, it is surprising because I'm not a dog.
So like everything that you interpret from AI needs to be considered, right?
Yeah.
But let's be completely honest here, right? So your GP, when he gets your blood tests, if you look at your blood tests, there is bold markers so that he knows what markers are low in your blood. He doesn't understand them. He's not a pulmonologist or whatever it is who studies blood. So most general practitioners don't know how to interpret blood. So the chart is designed to point them in the right direction. And what's really interesting about your blood test is there's far more detail inside your blood tests than your GP will ever look at. So if you actually now I have my blood tests gone back 10 years, so I can ask ChatGPT to run a rule over my bloods and what trends do you notice, what's happening. So if you want to hack your health, ChatGPT is unbelievable. And sorry, just to say, ChatGPT 5.
I saw that. Sorry, did you put that into our group?
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5, yeah. Because as soon as you put it into the group, it was knocking at my front door.
It is.
Yeah, that's
with a pizza.
That's how fast it is. With a pizza.
Yeah.
And a calculator. It said boobs.
So with ChatGPT 5, 78% of the kind of distraction. So what would happen in ChatGPT 4 was that it would often lose its train of thought and it would come up with stuff that was a bit more random. They've now got 78% of that removed. So the level of accuracy is unbelievable. So if you look at all the studies in the medical journals now, they are relying on ChatGPT because it's far more accurate. Most breast cancer is going to be diagnosed by ChatGPT, and it reads MRIs in a millisecond. So you go for an MRI right now, you got to wait for some geezer to read it.
Tell me about it, yeah.
Takes months, weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
It does it instantaneously.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I think it can do lots of things like show you boobs on a calculator or deliver a pizza.
It's going to be good. It's going to be bad. But the reality is it's going to be here.
And it's going to rule your world, baby.
Yeah. I don't mind too much. I'm sort of looking forward to it. Hey, so now we don't have Rebecca as a producer anymore. We have a ChatGPT AI.
Yeah.
Why Fanula?
I don't know. Well, I went with Finglas and Bernadette. Yeah. I don't know why I went with Finglas.
Let's unpick that some other time.
Finglas, was that a couple, Finglas and Bernadette?
No, Finglas is my ChatGPT.
Oh, I thought it was like a lesbian couple from Finglas.
Bernard and Bernadette were the couple.
Very, very forward thinking for somebody your age.
Bernard and Bernadette were the couple that I brought to you in Finglas.
I would just say, I don't think you can compare ChatGPT and AI to a calculator, but you guys have just done that for 15 minutes. God, so much to say about that. Anyway, guys, you've AI'd me out of it, and now I just want to go back to reality. I want to get off whatever dystopian land I was on and talk about a DM. Are you guys ready for your DM this week?
Cool.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's from a fan of the show, which is nice because we're getting so many new followers and listeners on our Instagram.
I think we should get some DMs from people who hate us.
Why would they bother?
We'll start doing that. I have a few, but I've just kind
There
of.
there are some bad stuff that some people have said some negative stuff
Yeah,
about
of
us.
course. But you're
Well, okay, then we should actually.
not everyone's
do
going to.
Get some of that in.
Yeah, we will get some of that in. But if you're following us on Instagram, Not So Christian Brothers, which I'm sure you are, if you're listening to this, we're getting a few DMs. And it's kind of agony uncle stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes this goes really well. Except for that lady a few weeks ago. What was her name?
Have we actually heard from Matthew, the first fella?
Matthew and Barbara didn't have a great old time of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matthew and Barbara are now dating.
Hi, Justin and Colm. I'm 53.
Yeah.
What I'm going through, I think, hits a lot of men. Some days I feel invisible at home, at work, even with mates. The marriage didn't last, but I know men that are still married who feel just as disconnected. For me, anger was covering up as much of the bigger things, feeling like it didn't really matter. The kids gave up as well when they were teens. They just moved on. Now I'm in the strange middle ground where kids are grown, old friendships have faded, dating feels like starting over again, work isn't giving me any buzz, and there's this constant pressure to find your purpose. Half the time, I'm just trying to get through the week without feeling stuck or restless. From Mark. So this is heavy hitting, but also I think what a lot of people, women and men, go through. So,
wow, I think when we jump into these with the likes of Martha and whatever, and this person, is that we can. We're obviously only giving the opinions of what we've seen and what we've lived or our experience or what we've seen with other people. There are so many people now that are so completely lost in life. And I don't want to be the guy that says, "Oh, it's social media and doom scrolling and all that sort of stuff." But it's actually what we were talking about before. I just find that some people are completely lost in the moment. They're just not available, and it's getting worse. And I think that's a huge part of feeling completely lost. You know, guys, women, everyone, sometimes just feeling completely lost because they are, but they're not finding out why they're so completely lost. Like they're asking ChatGPT, "Why do I feel so lonely?" Consider what you've just done there.
Yeah. That makes me the Made in America, Made in USA. Do you remember that movie with the Thunderbird puppets? And they had Kim Jong Un, and he used to sing a song. Why do I feel so lonely?
Okay, yes, yeah.
We should cut that in.
I'm so lonely.
Just to break up how depressing and hard the hitting those comments were.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is more problematic now than it ever has been. And I also think it's important for people to be able to just take time to take a break and just step away from stuff. And this morning we were coming into studio and we're recording on a Sunday morning. I had a super busy morning, and I needed to get out, walk the dog, and I had to do some stuff at home, and I had to respond to some emails and stuff. And then I realized I hadn't taken any time to slow down. And normally I try to do 10 minutes of meditation every morning. But I was walking back with the dog, and I thought, I know the next part of my walk is about a minute long, and I won't see anybody that I know. So I thought, all I want to do is just try and focus on the feeling of my feet as I'm walking.
Did you take your clothes off?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
I should do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
like that picture you sent into the group recently. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The guy in Slovakia, go on.
But if you think about how complex it is that we're in this whole wellness industry and how complex everybody wants to make things, right? If you can just get off your phone, not interact with anybody, and just be present to yourself for 30 seconds, like the insights from a psychological and neuroscience perspective are huge. We have to disconnect from the mayhem in our head, around us, on our phones. And I found actually that 45 seconds, and I was distracted. Like it wasn't like I was like completely focused on my feet for 45 seconds. But we need to start developing this idea of sharing simple little things for people to do. We don't need people to get into really complex things around wellness. Like I was reading this sleep article the other day, and there's now all these mocktails created for you to get so that you can sleep better and blah, blah, blah. You know, we just need to give people simple things. And I think the over complexing of wellness is overwhelming.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you find how to slow down? You just shut the fuck up and
I
sit
know.
down for a minute.
We have compounded ourselves with so much. I mean, there's so much around us at any given moment. There's so many, you know, you talk about AI, you talk about ChatGPT, you talk about WhatsApp groups, right? I mean, you talk about WhatsApp groups. I found it funny over the weekend. So we were in a WhatsApp group, and then we've the WhatsApp group. So we've Terry in the WhatsApp group and one WhatsApp group for camera stuff and that's technical stuff. Then we've the WhatsApp group with Rebecca about what we're doing about. Then Rebecca and me are in 3 WhatsApp groups separately. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, no, but like in the radio station, and then suddenly you could see in the space of maybe 4 or 5 hours if it's busy, somebody has connected to you 6 times in 6 different WhatsApp groups, wearing 6 different hats, and it's just mad. And I mean, it's not. It's good. It really is good that we have all this connection. And I mean, I see Holly now is 25,
but it's all right because you didn't respond to any of the WhatsApps.
No, I know, I don't. I know. People give out to me all the time.
So like you were like in the Buddha land yesterday going, I refuse to respond to WhatsApp.
I'm going to be honest, you were really annoying me.
Or do any social media.
I was just trying to work out, how do you get boobs on the calculator? Sorry, I was saying Holly is 25. Holly has so many friends, so many different groups. I didn't when I was 25. And I know it's from the reason. So she's the college, she has secondary school, which I went through all of those, but we never kept in contact, possibly because there weren't all these amazing WhatsApp groups then, and that's what keeps her in contact.
Or you weren't as interesting as Holly.
No, there could be that as well, absolutely, yeah. But I just think there are amazing benefits to this, and there's also, oh man, it's like, as you said, it's like, just plug it out. You gotta know when to plug it out.
I think we need to learn how to plug out. We need to learn how to slow down.
I need to learn how to do boobs and calculator as well.
Boobs and calculators. Playing with calculators is fine. There's very little that can go wrong. Yeah. But I think I also think in terms of the comment that came in, one of the most common conversations I have with people is around teenagers, and for men, I think this is a really challenging period because when your kids get older, you have these adoring young children. And then when they touch teenage years, they become really problematic. And I think mothers can still develop stronger relationships and better understandings of teenagers, right? But I think for men, and if you have boys at home, or even if you have teenage girls, it's very difficult because on one hand, you want instinctively to be able to set down the law and, respect me and respect this house and everything else. But on the other hand, you're dealing with evolution. And if we look at human evolution, when we become teenagers, we actually have a biological change in our brains, and we're rewired to find a new tribe. So you have your first tribe, which is your tribe till you're about 10 or 11, but then you go through biological rewiring because you don't consciously become aware of this, but your parents are going to be dead and you can't rely on them. So we are literally fleeing the nest from about 11. And as a consequence, you have to push back against authority and you have to dismiss your parents. And for a lot of men, if you can't take a breath, if you can't actually just notice, hold on a second, there's angst coming at me here from a teenager. If I respond to it, it's fire with fire and it's all going to kick off. But actually, if I just take a breath and walk out of the room, the teenager is going to drift off into the distance. And so much of the conflict happens because there's no point basically arguing with a jihadi terrorist wearing a suicide vest, because that's what you're talking about when you try to argue with a teenager. And this creates an awful lot of mental health problems for men.
Huge. I totally agree. I always remember the drinking law in Spain is 16. So you can have your first beer when you're 16. And so then, obviously, in Spanish mindset, it's like 16, you're now sort of an adult, okay? Over here, it's 18 or whatever. And I always remember when we were in Spain, Alex turned 16 in Spain, and I took him down to a sports bar, and we sat at the bar, and I gave him a beer. I said, there you go, that's the beer. But it wasn't because, hey, isn't it great you can have a beer at 16? I was saying to him, and this is it now. This you no more pocket money. This is your beer. You're now an adult. So now you've got to. So our relationship after this beer is so completely different because I'm no longer your father that tells you what to do and what not to do and where to go and whose tribe to be in. You now are. You can rejoin the tribe. I totally agree with you. Maybe later when you're 21, 22, but you're now you're off now. So I'm not going to stop you from leaving the tribe. And whatever decisions you make now, I'll stand over them and I'll look at them. And if you ask me for advice, I will. But I will never force my opinion on you again.
And Terry, can you just cut that clip and maybe forward to Alex, because he'll probably need that in therapy at some point.
Yeah.
Baby's cut off at 16.
No,
so
but
just give it a short clip straight to his therapist.
Yeah,
But just put it in the WhatsApp group. One of the
my
many
own
sixes.
WhatsApp group. But it's a thing that that I consciously did. And similarly with Holly. And I think you're right. You've got, as a parent, we have to get to a point when we see them as an adult and just go.
But that's the thing, right? So that's beautiful. But then there is the
You've
conflict.
never used that word in any context with me ever. That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I think the only time you'll ever say that, see his coffin, that's beautiful.
Am I in as well?
Yeah.
And I think it's right. Like there's like that delineation that you've created, right, between childhood and moving into adulthood. But the big difficulty is in the day-to-day stuff at home, right? So what's really fun with teenagers is because they don't have their prefrontal cortex, right? So the smart part of their brain doesn't develop, and boys, it doesn't really finish till they're about 26, 27.
Or ever.
Or potentially never, right? Definitely with these two. But because that isn't there, you don't have an ability to be able to discern the emotions of the person that you're in front of, right? And I always think about a time when I was on a Zoom call and Luca was at home. It was during the summer and he was about 15. He was sitting at the kitchen bar. And I came down, I opened the fridge after being on like some bloody call for an hour or whatever, looking in the fridge, trying to think what I'm going to eat. And from the corner of the kitchen, he goes, it's people like you that are going to end the world because of the electricity you're burning. And I'm like looking down thinking, people like me who pays for the electricity, right? So I'm then thinking I'm going to take something in the fridge. And then he goes, you're such an idiot though. Like you have to close the fridge, like make a decision. Now, there's a part of me that felt really angry and wanted to lash out at him, right? But I knew if I lashed out at him, he was going to lash out at me and we're going to kick off. So instead I thought, I still feel angry. I'm not like a Buddha here. I can't just turn around and go, we're all at one here. So I closed the fridge, went outside, went into a different room in the house, came back in again. And as I walked back in, like literally 3 minutes later, he was like, do you see who United bought as the next player? So teenagers don't hold on to the we hold on to all of our shit, right? Because we have a developed prefrontal cortex. They're just like, you're an idiot, you're great, it's fine.
Yeah. Totally. And if you can understand that with your kids, you're halfway there. Yeah.
And I think for men, if we talk about how to evolve in terms of our mental health and to find an ability to fit better in, it's to understand the nature of what's in front of us. Big tip. There is Grayson Perry. My God, what's his wife's name? Philippa Perry is one of the best child and teenage psychologists you'll ever read. And she's written a really good book, which I can't remember the name of it, but we'll put it into the show notes. Yes, that's it. It is unbelievable. Anybody who's trying to manage teenagers, this is your Bible.
Okay. We should put a link into that.
The book you wish your parents read. I don't know if your mic was up there when you said that.
The book you wish your parents read. I mean, I got this because when I was doing the parenting podcast, it was something, she is, Philippa Perry, like spot on. It's the book you wish your parents, and it's that gentle ease of like engaging, but just not being so angry. And guys, that was actually, the word beautiful was used there. It was a beautiful chat because...
You're beautiful. Is this our word?
No, but do you know what really...
It's like
do you know
Sesame
what really
Street.
hit me?
Today's word is beautiful.
Do you know what really hit me? At the top of the show,
B-E-A.
when Colm said people are asking their ChatGPT while they're loaning, I nearly cried. Anyway, great episode, guys.
Well, I did ask ChatGPT why I was so lonely. She didn't answer.
Because you don't answer your WhatsApps. That's the answer.
But my remote control told me.
After show
Anyway.
coming up on Saturday, we will chat about all this.
Yeah. And of course, remember to, I always forget, like, subscribe, and
Follow.
follow.
Yeah.
Especially that person who hasn't subscribed yet and keeps hearing me asking.
Yeah.
You know you can do it right now.
Fanula.
Put your finger on the subscribe button, please. Like us, share us.
And join us for the after show on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you.